Good morning, children. I welcome you all to the third part of a lesson. So, today we are going to know few more topics. So, let us start. So, today we are going to learn about library programs. So, basically, what are these library programs? This is a common way in which we can share the data or any software or programs without rewriting each piece of the software. Okay, that means for example, if there is a certain program and it is to be shared to some other person, then there is no need of rewriting it for each and every software. Once the program is written, then it is only used for every application. Okay, for example, take the mouse. If we are using the mouse for each and every process, we are not changing anything in the software of the mouse. No, simply we are using it for any application whatever we are using. Okay, library programs are also the same way. Okay, next, in Windows we can find all these kind of library programs by using the extension .dll. What is meant by DLL? Dynamic link library. Okay, so basically what are library programs? These are the programs in which we can share the common programs so that there is no need of rewriting the program for each piece of the software. Okay, children, we can find all these library programs by using an extension called .dll. DLL means what? Dynamic link library. Okay, so the next one is programming language translators. What is the next one? Programming language translators. So these are also called as language processors. What are they called as? Language processors. So why are these language processors used? These are used to write programs for a specific task. Basically, what we are doing to do any work, we are giving the computer some instructions. Those instructions are what called as programs. Okay, so then what does this language process do? They will be converting that particular programs into the machine language so that the computer can understand it and perform the particular task what we want. Okay, children, so these language processes are basically classified into three types. What are they? Assemblers, compilers and interpreters. Okay, what are they? Assemblers, compilers and interpreters. So let us see each of them in detail. Assemblers. Assemblers means what? Whatever programs are written in assembly language, it will be translating it into the machine language. So the name itself specifies that assemblers are the programs that convert a program which is written in assembly language to the machine language. So see here they have given an image, assembly language program to assembler, assembler to machine language program. Okay, children. Next one, compilers. Compilers, what will be these doing? These compilers are a certain program which translate the high level languages into the machine language. High level languages means what? Basically C, C++, Java, these all comes under the high level language. So what does these compilers do? These compilers will be translating those high level languages into the machine language so that it can be understood by the computer and they can perform the specific task. Okay, so basically what does this compiler do? It first reads the entire program and creates a separate machine language code for execution. That means whatever program we are giving, the program is also what called as code. Okay, so whatever code we are given to the computer, it will be translating it into a separate machine language code. Okay, for the process, that is what called as execution. Okay, in this case, if there are any errors, it does not create the machine language code but lists all the errors for rectification. That means if any errors are there in that particular program, it does not create any, that means it does not translate it into the machine language, but it will be giving a list of all the errors so that we can rectify them. Okay, so what does a compiler mean? It will be translating the high level language into a machine language so that a computer can understand. And it will be converting the program, whatever we have given, into a separate machine code for the execution. If there are any errors, it won't convert it into the machine language and simply list the whatever errors are there so that we can rectify them. Okay. For example, C, C++, C hash, this all comes under the high level programming languages. Next, interpreters. Interpreters are also used to convert the given program into a machine language. But what we have discussed in compilers, they will be reading the whole program at a time. But here it will be reading the program line by line and translates each line of the program into a machine language. Okay. So if in that process, if there are any errors, it will be stopping the execution there itself. Okay. For example, Python, Basic, Ruby, these all are the languages in which interpreters are used. Okay, children. Next, we are going to learn about the application software. So basically, application software means what? It is used for the purpose, specific need of the general users. That means, for example, take any kind of application. For example, take our WhatsApp only. If there is a specific purpose for that, right? For each and every person who is using it. Okay. So it is used to make allow the computer to do a particular job. For example, that means what are these application softwares? Web browser is also an application software. Or MS Office is also an application software. Games are also an application software. That means whatever applications that are available on a mobile phone or a computer, each and everything comes under this only. Okay, so it is a software which is used for a particular purpose. For example, calculator is there. Calculator means what? In that we can only calculate, but we cannot do any other things, right? Like calendar. Calendar means it is used to check the dates, months, years and all. Rather than that, there is no use with the calendar, right? So like that. In these application softwares also, we are having two types. First one is general purpose application software or standard software. Second one is specific purpose application software or customized software. So today we are going to learn about the general purpose software. In the next class, we will be learning about specific purpose software. So let us see what is a standard software. So basically, general purpose application software means what? It will be providing all the programs or different applications in a set. That means, for example, take MS Office only. In MS Office, whatever we are having Word, we are having Excel, we are having PowerPoint, we are having database access. Okay, these all are bulk. In this bulk of application software, we are using them for general purpose only. Now, whatever we want, we are able to do on that. But we are not able to do any changes in that. Okay. Next, so as we already discussed, Microsoft Office, Adobe Photoshop, Google Chrome, these all are some examples of standard software. So see, the name itself specifies that it is standard. That means we cannot make any changes in that particular software unless we can only use that software, but cannot do any changes. For example, so let us see some more application software which belongs to general purpose application software. They are word processor, presentation tools, spreadsheet tools, database management tools. So let us discuss briefly about this. Word processor means what? It is used for typing, editing, saving, okay, and also for taking the printouts of the data whatever we have entered on the word processor is nothing but similar to notepad, children. Okay, it is similar to notepad in which we can type, edit, save for future reference and also take out the printouts. Okay. Next, presentation tools. We already know about presentation tools. The name itself specifies that presentation tools are used for creating the presentations. Okay. So it is a combination of various slides, handouts, notes. That means we can also create notes, right, regarding any particular slide. Okay, children. And we are also able to add the graphics, text, photos, clip arts, sound, video, and all to the slides. Okay. Next one, spreadsheet tools. Spreadsheet tools means what? In this particular software is used to align the data in a tabular form. Okay, so that it will be clear and easily understandable for any person, whoever is viewing that particular spreadsheets. Okay, popular examples for spreadsheets are Microsoft Excel. Okay, in Excel also it is doing the same work. The Excel itself is what called as a spreadsheet. Okay, next, database management system. Database management tools. That means it is nothing but DBMS. DBMS means what, children? In this particular software, we can store the data, we can modify the data, we can even retrieve the data. That means, for example, students, you people are there. So in our school office will be having the entire details of all of your students, all of your names. That means if I need any particular student's details, I am easily able to retrieve the data of any year. Even previous years also we can take the data of any student. Okay, so that is why it is used to store, modify, and retrieve the data. Retrieve means to recollect whatever the data we have been stored in the database. Okay, children. For example, MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft Access, these all comes under the examples for DBMS. Okay, children. I hope you all are able to understand today's class. So remaining topics will be covered in the next class. Thank you, children.